Hey Peculiars, it's me, Amanda, the Peculiar Brunette, and today we're going to be discussing cord cutting rituals. So first I'm going to discuss what a cord cutting ritual is, the pros and cons of why you would want to do one. I'm going to discuss the 3 different types of cord cutting rituals you can do, and then I'm going to show you a step-by-step tutorial of how to do one with candles, and then I'm going to wrap the video up by answering some frequently asked questions. So if you like videos like this, make sure to like and subscribe, and let's jump in. So a cord cutting is a ritual or spell that will help you symbolically sever any connections you have with a person, place, or thing. It's basically a form of energy work that's really not to be done lightly because it's a physical representation of an ending. Doing a cord cutting ritual isn't about putting up blinders or forgetting about any memories that you've made. Instead, it's more about choosing to value ourselves and establish those healthy boundaries so that we can move forward in the healthiest way possible. It's essentially a fresh start. Cord cutting uses symbolism like candles to represent the person, place, or thing that we want to cut ties with. So it's really similar to the psychology term called transference, which is what Sigmund Freud invented around the 1890s. According to Psychology Today, transference is a phenomenon in which one seems to direct feelings or desires related to an important figure in one's life, such as a parent, towards someone who is not that person. I really recommend reading that entire article if you have the time, because it's really interesting. Now remember that a cord cutting ritual will not help you work through serious trauma or abuse, so there's no shame in consulting a doctor or a therapist for further help and healing. And there's also no shame in doing a cord cutting ritual at the same time. So the best reason for doing a cord cutting ritual is to symbolically, spiritually, and mentally release any emotional burdens with a person, place, or thing. Now, I really like to make sure that I mention that because I feel like at least everything I see online is always about, doing a cord cutting ritual for that toxic ex, like that toxic ex-lover or whatever. And I just feel like there's just so much more to cord cutting rituals than dealing with an ex-idiot. Do you know what I mean? I mean, feel free to do it for an ex-lover, an ex-idiot if you want, but I'm just saying, there's a lot more possibilities to cord cutting rituals. So let's talk about why some of the reasons are you'd want to do one. A cord cutting ritual can help you forgive yourself for any past failures or regrets so that you can embrace your personal growth. It can help you let go of negative energy or influences from a particular person, place, or thing. It can help you release feelings of guilt, resentment, or anger towards someone or something. To let go of limiting beliefs and self-doubt. To remove emotional attachments to a toxic person or past relationship. To help you establish healthy boundaries and regain your personal power. To release attachments to material possessions that no longer serve any purpose in your life. To cut cords with addictive behaviors or any harmful habits that you're wanting to leave behind. To detach from negative work environments or toxic colleagues. Sever energetic ties with a place holding negative memories or associations. To release the influence of manipulative or controlling individuals. And basically to help you embark on a journey of self-discovery, self-love, and personal transformation. So to me, the biggest pro of doing a cord cutting ritual is to, once that's symbolically severed, it can help you really redirect your energy into things that are healthier for you and more about your aspirations and dreams. And you can release that and let that go and move on without it. Now that we've discussed the pros and why you would want to do a cord cutting ritual, let's talk about some of the cons. So it won't physically keep a toxic individual out of your life. For example, maybe you'll still see them at work. It may require time and effort on your part to let go of the attachments completely, but that's okay. Be patient because healing and transformation take time. It could trigger feelings of guilt or uncertainty about the decision to cut cords, because that can be pretty difficult for an individual just to decide to want to do it. It may bring about temporary feelings of vulnerability or emotional rawness. It might challenge your current belief systems, values, or perspectives, and it could require adapting to changes in your routine or social circles. Now, there are various techniques for doing cord cutting rituals, but I'm going to discuss the top 3. However, feel free to use whichever one resonates with you most. So a simple way to cut cords without the use of any tools is through a visual meditation. So this option can be really great for beginner witches or anyone who's still in the broom closet, because like I said, you don't need any tools and you can do it through a simple meditation where basically you're imagining yourself, you're going to visualize whatever it is you're wanting to cut cords with and some sort of cord attaching you to. And then you're going to symbolically imagine severing that cord and that energy going back to you, or your energy going back to you, and their energy going back to them. And I don't know, I was thinking about doing a guided meditation video for like a cord cutting ritual meditation. So I don't know, if you guys are interested in that, let me know. I think it could be kind of fun. Now, if you want to do a cord cutting ritual that has a physical representation, yet you don't want to deal with any of the potential fire hazards of using candles, you can always use scissors. Now, scissors are a really great symbol for empowerment. And basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take a piece of cord of your choice. So that can be like hemp or twine or string or whatever you want to use. And you kind of sit down, do a little ritual, get quiet, find a quiet space that you can relax. I like to cleanse my twine or cord before I start doing this. And then I visually will hold up that cord, and you can just imagine one side is you, one side is whatever you're trying to detach from, and you can just cut right through that cord and symbolically sever that connection. Now, the third and most popular type of cord cutting ritual is with candles. And I'm not gonna lie, it's the most fun because you can get as creative as you want with it. You can put as much symbolism as you want into it, which I personally like to do because I think that just really helps increase the intention into that ritual. You're harnessing, candle magic. You can incorporate in symbolism and herbal magic and the elements. I mean, I could go on color magic. Like, you could go as crazy as you want or as simple as you want with it. I'm gonna do a step-by-step tutorial for a candle cord cutting ritual because that's the one people want to know about the most. Now, one thing before I jump into this, there might be sections where I've already done a video on it, so I'm not going to get too deep in it. For example, I've already made a video on how to anoint and dress a candle. And actually I anointed and dressed the candle that's going to be used in this video. So if you want more detail on that, make sure and watch that video, and those are all going to be under the Candle Magic series. Let's begin by gathering the basic supplies you'll need. 2 candles, the type is up to you, but taper or chime candles are popular choices. You'll need a carving tool. Now, an awl is a popular choice, but I typically use like pottery tools or an X-Acto knife. You'll need a piece of paper, which AKA a petition paper that you're going to write down your intention on. You'll need lighters or matches. I like to have 2 on hand so I can light my wicks at the same time. You'll need a fire-safe dish or bowl to burn the candles in. Cord of your choice, string, twine, hemp, etc. Salt. And then this is optional, but I would recommend having a journal or notebook or your grimoire or your Wiccan Book of Shadows, whichever you use, just to kind of notate everything. See, if anything happens while you're watching it, you can kind of pay attention and jot that down. Doesn't matter what candle color you use in this ritual. No, you can use whatever candle color you want. In fact, I recommend watching the candle color meanings video that I did so that you can see a breakdown of each color's meaning, and you can really think about what you're wanting to let go of and what you're trying to bring in, and maybe use those color correspondences accordingly. Now, you'll often see practitioners using one black candle and one white candle when they're doing a cord cutting ritual. That's because black candles are really good in destructive magic and banishing things, to let go of things. And white candles are really good for bringing in like positive energy and kind of giving you that like healing kind of energy. And it's also great, to substitute out any other color. So that's why you'll see those as popular choices, but you can use any candle color you want. Can you use any type of cord? Yes. Anything that will burn safely is an appropriate cord to use. I would stay away from things that are like nylon and stuff because they're plastic, and I don't really like the idea of like burning plastic. But the most popular choices are string, hemp, and twine. I normally use twine, and I was 100% sure that I packed it when we started full timing in our travel trailer. However, I cannot find it. I do, however, have some sisal rope on hand, so I was kind of looking at it, and it looks like I can pull it apart into 3 or 4 smaller pieces, so I'm going to try to use that. I'm not sure if that's going to work, but we will find out together. Now, before I move on, there's 2 things I want to talk about with the cords. One, some spiritual practitioners believe that the stronger the cord is to cut, like the harder it is to break that cord, the beefier and thicker that the cord should be. So I've seen some people that'll take twine or the hemp and they'll actually like braid it to make it a little bit thicker. It kind of increases the intention, and like when you sever it, it's a little bit, beefier. So that's an option for you as well. The second thing is that some people like to also include color symbolism into their cord. Now, this isn't necessary, like I said, it's just an additional step if you would like to, but think about maybe what color of cord you'd like to put into it if you like. Now, to prepare for the candle ritual, you want to find an uninterrupted space where you can kind of create a sacred area for yourself and sit comfortably and really just take a moment to kind of meditate and center yourself. Obviously, you'll need to be able to burn a candle safely here as well. Then you'll want to cleanse the area in the method of your choice. And I like to listen to music, preferably with headphones. I normally listen to like binaural beats, hertz tones, maybe the Gateway Hemisync. And then sometimes I also, like, depending on what I'm trying to do, I might listen to like some female rage songs, because it's just great when you're doing the cord cutting ritual. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you just need that energy. Remember to open at least one window so that the negative energy has a place to go. And then at this point, you can also take your petition paper. I like to do 2. I write one for what the intention I have for what I'm banishing. I write another one with the intention for what I'm trying to draw in. And each practitioner can do this differently. Some practitioners like to take your petition paper and put it underneath the candle as it burns. And other practitioners like myself like to burn the petition paper in the flame when the ritual is beginning. So the choice is up to you. At this point, you want to use your carving tool to apply any symbols or words or numbers to your candle. Now, I went through this in really great detail in the How to Anoint and Dress Your Candles video. So I would definitely recommend checking that out for specifics. But really what I want to drive home the point here for this step and the next step is that we're really just trying to infuse that energy into these candles. Like I said, it's similar to the psychology term of transference, where this candle really needs to represent what it is that you're trying to let go of or try to bring in. So you're really trying to draw that in now here and really infuse it with your intentions. And that's the most important part here. Use this time to like really focus on your emotions and really feel why you want to cut that cord, why you want to let it go, and then sit and really feel what you're trying to draw in and what you're trying to heal from. Next, you're going to dress or anoint your candles. Like I said, I've already done a step-by-step video on that, so go ahead and check that out. But really here, we're choosing oils that best represent the intentions we're trying to infuse. And same thing with the herbs. We're choosing herbs and spices that also represent the meaning that we're trying to infuse. To begin the cord cutting spell, you want to place your fire safe dish I like to use a 6-inch cast iron that I got from Amazon. You want to place that in an area that's safe to burn where you can keep an eye on it. Then you'll go ahead and create a ring of salt around where the candles will be in your bowl or dish. I also like to add additional herbs for, more correspondence and intention. Then you'll want to melt the bottom of each candle just slightly because that'll help it stand up in your dish. Like I said earlier, some spiritual practitioners like to put their petition paper underneath the candle at this time. Now comes the hardest part, tying the cord around the candles, which can be easier said than done. I like to place mine around 2/3 of the way to the top, but I have seen several practitioners that like to keep it around the tip, like when they very first start burning the candles. So the choice is up to you. When you're ready, use your lighters to light both candles at the same time to begin the ritual. While you're sitting here watching it, have your grimoire, have your journal, have your Wiccan Book of Shadows, whatever you like to use, handy so that you can write down any thoughts or feelings that come up, anything that you see, maybe in the flame, anything that you notice, maybe some smoke, maybe how the cord is burning, anything that comes to you, make sure and write it down as you're observing this ritual. Once the flames have been lit, it's a very good time to say your intention out loud if you would like to. This is completely optional, but a lot of older magic, ancient magic that we see, basically says that your magic is more potent and more powerful if you speak it out loud. So that's why you'll see a lot of spiritual practitioners doing this in a cord cutting ritual. If you're not sure what to say, I've got some examples for you. I sever the energetic cords that bind me, freeing myself from the negative influences of blank. As I cut these cords with blank, I embrace the freedom to create a new beginning. I release all emotional attachments and connections to blank and reclaim my personal power while setting healthy boundaries. I choose my own path, detached from expectations and judgment of others. And then as it burns, you're going to kind of just observe your active spell. One, that's for safety reasons. Obviously, if anything happens, you want to be able to be there to see it. Two, if any of the flames go out, you want to be there to relight them so that the ritual can continue. And lastly, it's just really good to sit and feel your emotions and any sensations that come up while you're doing this ritual, because it can really help you feel the release, let go of what it is you're trying to let go of. Now, once everything's done and complete and you want to dispose of your ritual, you can just wait for everything to cool down and throw it away in a garbage can. You don't want to bury it anywhere on your property or keep it anywhere around you. You want to release it. You want to have it go away from you. And sometimes, to me personally, there's nothing better than thinking about whatever it was that I banished or cut cords with, sitting there in a landfill, just like with the gunkies being gross and rotten away, Now, once the cord cutting spell is done, you might feel a range of emotions. And this is because you're letting something go. It can be really difficult. So after I finish a cord cutting ritual, I always think it's really important to try to do what I can to do a little bit of self-care and self-love. So you can do like a ritual bath. Some people do egg cleansings, or just kind of any like self-care, like whatever you can do to kind of make yourself feel good. Maybe go and hang out with some people that really make you feel loved and feel positive and kind of help fill you up, so that you can start to move on from what you've let go of. So when it comes to doing a cord cutting ritual interpretation, for me personally, I don't interpret them, honestly. I feel like when I've decided that I want to do a cord cutting ritual, I don't want to deal with it anymore. I'm releasing it and I'm moving on. And to me, by doing an interpretation of it, it still feels very much like I'm attached to it. It still feels like I'm involved in that energy, and I released it. It's gone. So I don't give an F as to like what the interpretation is personally. Now, I know there are a lot of people that want to do an interpretation on them. So what I would recommend is checking out my video on candle magic divination. And I've actually got all 3 options in there. So how to read wax, how to read smoke, and how to read flames. So you can use that video to kind of help you gauge your reading with your cord cutting ritual. Now, how do you stop the cords from reattaching? So basically, once you've cut that cord, like you're done, you're letting go, you're moving on, right? So what you want to do is refocus your energy into the positive things that you're trying to bring in. So maybe you're letting go of some bad habits and introducing some new good healthy habits for yourself, or maybe you're learning a new hobby, or you're applying for a different job, or whatever it is that you're trying to do. You're trying to refocus your energy into something positive for yourself because you've let go what was negative for you. Now, if you did something like maybe you were trying to do a cord cutting with a coworker who is just, driving you crazy, and you still have to go to work and deal with them, how do you handle it to stop the cords from reattaching? What I would do is when you get there, you just limit the contact and time that you have with that coworker. Like, Becky, like, get a life, get a hobby, find something to do, okay? Kind of thing. I don't know. For me personally, I kind of feel sorry for them. When I know that I've done a cord cutting ritual on them, I know that I've cut those cords and claimed my energy back, and that they're the ones that are still living in that mindset and in that like negative space. I honestly start to pity them and feel sorry for them, and I look at them in a different way, and that helps me heal and move on. And I also, again, like to prioritize time with people and loved ones who fill me up. And lastly, really start to look around, because a lot of new opportunities are going to present themselves to you that will help you move forward. I've heard so many stories about people that, cut cords with like a toxic work environment that they were in. And once they were done, like a few months later, they had opportunities at a new job, maybe even moved to a new location. I mean, I just think it's really important to stay open-minded about what might present itself to you. Now, how does a cord cutting affect the other person? So most often you've cut that cord so that you have healing on your side. You're the one who has changed your belief on it. You're the one that's like severed that cord, right? So most of the time you're going to feel that energy shift, but they're not going to feel it at all. Sometimes you'll have somebody, you might have had a strong connection with them. They might know you very well. And sometimes I have heard of things where, you'll do a cord cutting ritual and then that person will call you on the phone, like right after, like they can sense it, but most of the time they're not going to feel anything on their end. You've severed it and you're the one that's moved on. can I do a cord cutting ritual for someone else? I mean, not really. You can try, but I don't think it's a very good idea, and I'll tell you why. Because when we do a cord cutting ritual for ourselves, we have decided that we want to cut cords with whatever it is that we're detaching from, right? Now, if you do a cord cutting ritual for someone else, they may not have wanted to let go of that. They may not be ready to receive that energy. They may not be willing to move on. And so those cords will just keep reattaching. Who even knows how effective it is? I just generally wouldn't recommend it. All right, that about wraps this video up. If you have any questions or comments, please pop them down below. If you liked this video, please make sure to like and subscribe because it really helps me out. Otherwise, lots of love to you. And remember, as always, stay peculiar. Hey, peculiar.